It's Saturday morning cartoons, and it is also National Occult Day. You didn't know that November 18th was National Occult Day? That's not surprising because that information was hidden. Occult simply means hidden. Uh, when there's an eclipse, when the moon passes in front of the sun to our point of view, the sun occults. It's an occult uh, phenomenon. Occult simply means hidden. But anyway, happy occult. They do something strange, mysterious, and makes people wonder. Uh, the way things are going in the world, I mean, we think we've passed out of the phase of humanity, the superstitious phase of humanity, where uh, people are accused of witchcraft and diabolic, non-mainstream spiritual practices. People are accused of cursing other people. Today in the world, witches are being, or people being accused of being witches, are being uh, persecuted and killed. And the more restrictive mainstream religion is, and more demanding of obedience to a particular cult or another, conformity of spiritual thought, uh, can develop into dangerous situations. I see that forming right now in our own country, and perhaps you can see disturbing trends like that also. Uh, for the last 30 or 40 years, anyway, here in the United States, it's been sort of a golden age of being out of the closet as far as your occult activities are concerned. And we've sort of gotten comfortable with the fact that, oh, it could never slip back into satanic panics and stuff like that. Don't you believe it? Uh, so when you see, especially among political leaders, that would push for conformity of thought for one religious point of view or another, uh, be vigilant to it and defend it, call it out when you see it. Uh, if your friends and neighbors seem to open to falling prey to that kind of bigoted way of looking at things, please speak up. Please make them feel like it's the stupidest thing in the world, because it's the stupidest thing in the world. Anyway, that's my Saturday morning cartoon little speech on National Occult Day. But I wanted to talk to you. I told you yesterday I was going to read a little something from Crowley's Magic Without Tears concerning the secret chiefs. Now, call them what you want. Secret chiefs. Blavatsky called them Mahatmas. Rosicrucians and such called them the Great Right Brotherhood. In our bathroom, we have a cupboard right in back of the toilet. And then we open it up, and we stack toilet tissue and it's white toilet tissue. And for some reason, we have a small collection of rubber duckies in the toilet tissue cupboard. And when we open up the cupboard, we have to move a rubber ducky around to get a new roll of toilet tissue. And Constance has gotten into the habit of sort of quacking like a duck and calling the cupboard the Great White Brother. Great White Brotherhood. How's that for a Saturday morning cartoon? Anyway, I titled today's talk, Do We Make Up Our Own Secret Chiefs? And is it, do we need secret chiefs? And if so, do we make them up ourselves? And I guess the answer to that ultimately is, on one level, of course we do. Before I read a little snippet, I'm not going to read the whole chapter of from Theory or from Magic Without Tears. I believe it's chapter 9. I wrote something sort of in a fictional way, which was really descriptive of something that actually happened to me when I was speaking at the old Bodhi Tree bookstore on Melrose in Hollywood. And I was talking about my new book at the time, The Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. And this incident that I'm about to read in sort of fictitious context actually happened. But it has something to do with our own personal secret chiefs. Okay. Why do I call it Chicken Kabbalah? This is from the Chicken Kabbalah of Rabbi Lon Milo DuQuette. Actually, the term Chicken Kabbalah issued from the mouth of an arrogant and hateful old man, and this is Rabbi Ben Clifford. I made this character up too, but Rabbi Ben Clifford says, actually, the term Chicken Kabbalah issued from the mouth of an arrogant and hateful old man who attended my New York City You Can Forget 90% of What You Know About the Kabbalah seminar. After my talk, he approached me so obviously infuriated that he could hardly speak. He said, "Sir, you speak blasphemy. You are no Kabbalist. You don't even pronounce the word correctly. It is Kabbalah, Kabbalah. What you teach is not Kabbalah. It is. The poor man's face turned bright red and his whole body began to shake as he searched his mind for a word foul enough to describe my work. It is chicken Kabbalah. It really happened. It really happened, just like that. It was instantly obvious to everyone in the room that he was painfully embarrassed at the ill-chosen and infantile words that blurted mindlessly out of his mouth. People started to chuckle. He then became so flustered he spat upon the floor and said, "You and your teachings merit only spit. Spit." And then he stormed out of the hall. As I am vowed to interpret every phenomenon and as a direct communication from God to my soul, I recognize this awful, slobbering man as an angel of the Lord, or a secret chief, if you will, sent to reveal to me the name of the spiritual science that would forever cling to my name. And then that night I meditated on the word merit spit, which of course you can play with it Kabbalistically, and it comes out to spells chicken in English. Anyway, the idea that major landmarks, major crossroads in our life are triggered by certain events that are dramatically life-changing, life-altering events. And we could very easily personify those moments and the characters who are instrumental in triggering those moments as angels, as secret chiefs, if you will, especially if in our own spiritual practices we're pledged to do whatever we can to raise the consciousness of humanity. Then they start to take on the dimensions of, okay, could we personify all of the network of events that went into making those crossroad moments? Could we personify that as intelligences that we could say, yeah, that's secret chiefs at work? Okay, Crowley, I'm going to jump right in here about 3/4 of the way through chapter 9 here. But who are they? He asks. Since they are invisible and inaccessible, may they not merely be figments invented by a self-styled master, not quite sure of himself, to prop up his tottering authority? Now, you might, I think Crowley is probably referring to the attempts at more unscrupulous occult cult leaders saying, "Secret, I'm in touch with the secret chiefs, and they tell me that you have to sleep with me," okay, or something like that. Okay. Well, the invisible and inaccessible criticism may equally be leveled at Captain A or Admiral B of the Naval Intelligence Department, who we're pretty sure Crowley worked for from time to time. These, quote, secret chiefs keep in the dark for precisely the same reasons. And these qualities disappear instantaneously the moment they want to get a hold of you. It is written, moreover, quote, "Let my servants be few and secret. They shall rule the many and the known." But are they then men in the usual sense of the word? They may be incarnate or discarnate. It is a matter of their convenience. Have they attained their position by passing through all the grades of the AA? Yes and no. The system which was given to me to put forward is only one of many. Allow me to say that again. The system which was given to me to put forward is only one among many. Above the abyss, all these technical wrinkles are ironed out. One man, who I suspect of being a secret chief, has hardly any acquaintance with the techniques of our system at all. That he accepts the Book of the Law is almost his only link with my work. That and his use of the Ophidian vibrations. The mind boggles at the tantric implications of that statement. I don't know which of us is better at it, but I'm sure that he must be a very long way ahead of me if he is one of them. You have already in these pages and elsewhere in my writings examples, numerous and varied, of the way in which they work. The list is far from complete. The matters of Abuldiz and Amalanthra, those are two sort of secret chief Iwasi kind of events, show one method of communication. Then there is the way of direct inspiration, as in the case of Hermes Emi in New Orleans. And then he says in a footnote, he says, I'll talk more about that later, and then he never does, as far as I know. Again, they may send an ordinary living man, whether one of themselves or no, I cannot feel sure, to instruct me in some task, or to set me right when I have erred, just like the chicken kebab, okay? Then there have been messages conveyed by natural objects, animate or inanimate. Needless to say, the outstanding example in my life is the whole plan of campaign concerning the Book of the Law. But is Iwas a man, presumably a Persian or a Syrian, and a secret chief? Or is he an angel, in the sense that Gabriel is an angel? Is Abuldiz an adept who can project himself into the aura of some woman with whom I happen to be living, although she has no previous experience of the kind or interest in such matters at all? Or is he a being whose existence is altogether beyond this plane, only adopting human appearance and faculties in order to make himself sensible and intelligible to that woman? I've never attempted to pursue any such inquiry. It was not forbidden, and yet I felt that it was. I always insisted, of course, on the strictest proof that he actually possessed the authority claimed by him, but I felt it is improper to assume any other initiative. Just a point of good manners, perhaps. You ask whether, contact once made, I am able to renew it should I so wish. Again, yes and no. But the real answer is that no such gesture on my part can ever be necessary. For one thing, the chief is so far above me that I can rely on him to take the necessary steps whenever contact would be useful. For another, there is one path always open, which is perfectly sufficient for all possible contingencies. Elsewhere, I will explain why they picked out so woe-begone a ragamuffin as myself to proclaim the word of the aeon and do all the chores pertinent to that particular work. The burden is heavier as years go by, but perdurabo, which is I will endure to the end. Loves the law, love and will. But he's got a pretty cool P.S. here. Reading this typescript over for literals, it struck me that you would ask, very reasonably, but if the secret chiefs have these boundless powers, why do they allow you to be plagued by printers held up for lack of secretaries, worried by all sorts of practical problems? Why, in a word, does anything ever go wrong? There are several lines of reply. Coalescing, they suffice. 1. What is wrong? Since 4 wars is their idea of right, you may well ask by what standard you may judge these events. Number 2, their work is creative. They operate on the dull mass of unrealized possibilities. Thus, they meet, firstly, the opposition of inertia, second, the recoil, the reaction, the rebound. 3, things theoretically feasible are practically impossible when A, desirable though their accomplishment may be, it is not one feat essential to the particular work at hand at the moment. Or B, the sum total of available energy being used up by that special task, there is none available for side issues. C, the opposition, passive or active, is too strong, temporarily, to overcome. More largely, one cannot judge how a plan is progressive when one has no precise idea what it is. A soldier is told to attack. He may be intended to win through, to cover a general retreat, or to gain time by deliberate sacrifice. Only the commander-in-chief knows what the order means or why he issues it. And even he does not know the issue or whether it will display and justify his military skill and judgment. Our business is solely to obey the orders. Our responsibility ends when we have satisfied ourselves that they emanate from a source which has the right to command. Postscript. A visitor's story has just reminded me of the possibility that I am a secret chief, myself, without knowing it. For I have sometimes been recognized by other people as having acted as such, though I was not aware of the fact at the time. And that is Saturday Morning Cartoons talk about secret chiefs. If we're not washed away in the rain, I'll see you tomorrow for Sunday school. Until then, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Because you might be a secret chief. Love is the law, love under will.